Welcome back to Gig Harbor Paddling. Today we have video review with paddler Ben Waters. I asked Ben to do this video review today so that we could get an idea of what's inside his head, because he paddles very smoothly. In all the 20 plus years I've been doing this, I've only seen 2 or 3 athletes have this kind of connection with the water this early on. So what is he thinking when he's paddling? At Nationals this year, he's really close to an American record for a bantam. We raced him up in the juvie ranks and he went 155, and everybody that's a paddler knows what that means for a 13-year-old, and it's impressive. So how did he do it?
You're entering the water with a pretty straight arm, which I like. Your top arm is shooting up a little bit, like you said, but the bottom arm's entering very straight. Is your paddle fully extended, or can it extend more? I don't know if it's just me, but his arm looks pretty straight, but he's still only fully buried when he's parallel. So I think he could rotate more, maybe extend his paddle a little bit. The front hand could be maybe a little bit higher, but straight is a pretty good pause. When you bring your blade down to the water, I think that's when you shoot your top arm. Rather than just dropping your front hand down, you're using your top hand and you're shooting it, seesawing with it. If you think more about just dropping the hand straight down to the water, I think that would be good. Your rotation looks good. So the setup, I don't know, the front hand's fine. It could be a little bit, everything could be a little bit higher, but it's fine where it is. The wrist, I guess it's death gripping. It just looks uncomfortable. Shooting your arm a little bit when you go to bring your hand down to the water. You can see right there, you shoot your arm up. And that's, again, I think that tapping drill we did yesterday would help with that. Just practice bringing your hand right down to the water. But the legs look good. You can see them holding down. You have good rotation. The backhand right there, like at the top, what you were just saying, it gets a little high and does that, I don't know, rainbow motion you call it. I think normally it's better. I think it's just right here because it's kind of windy and choppy. Your front hand at the setup is a little bit low. I think that's just kind of right here. The legs look good. There's a little bit of positive angle there. Your settings look really small. The seat should be able to go back more. You're not shooting your top arm like some of the earlier people were. The arm could, like when you enter the water, I think some of the strokes are good. Some of the strokes extend a little bit more. I think maybe try to move your settings back a little bit because it looks a little bit crammed. I don't know, it'd be a lot easier to rotate. I think there could be like more like of a setup. Right now it seems you're just kind of rushing straight to the next stroke. When I want like there to be more pause at the front, a little bit higher. The exit, it looks very relaxed, which is good. I think you just have long arms, kind of like me, which makes it look funny. So you get the blade buried with a lot of water, which I like. Doesn't he look like very far back in the boat? Push the footboard back as much as it can go and bring your seat up a little bit. I think that would help. So your setup looks pretty good here. You can see where you're pausing at the setup. It's good. You let your arm fully exit before you let your next arm back in the water. One thing I've just noticed from going in team boats with you, and you can kind of see here, is when you catch on the left, you put your weight goes like, if you don't put your weight onto the blade, it's weird, you move, you crunch to the other side of the boat, and you can kind of see your boat rock a little bit. When we went K4 last week, I could kind of see it. Thinking about don't be afraid to put your weight. It doesn't look as bad in this video. No, it doesn't. It looks better in this video. But just think about keep putting your weight on the blade rather than moving your body away from it. I think about putting the weight on the blade. I know some people like to think more about putting it on the hip. I think thinking either way works. I think you have a pretty good stroke. The first thing I saw was the top arm. The only things I can see to work on is that top arm and the boat yawing. You see that a little bit. But your setup looks good. Yeah, it's a little bit aggressive, but it can work. But you look like you're rotating a lot. You have a high setup. Your top arm's just a little bit high, but your exit might be a little bit late, but I think it looks fine. Yeah, I just think about keeping the top arm down a little bit more and maybe sitting back a little bit. Yeah, that looks better. You're entering the water with a pretty straight arm. Your top hand's going like a little bit high. That's something that like I think most people probably struggle. I even struggle with that sometimes. Your exit looks good. I think there could be a little bit more rotation. I can see some of your back, but I think you could rotate a little bit more and that would give you more reach. When your blade's fully buried, you're almost at neutral, pretty much at neutral. You have a little more. Yeah, so a little more rotation and keeping that top hand a little bit lower. I think most of the time your legs look pretty good. I think Kyle right now probably has one of the best, if not the best, setups on the next stroke. I think my rotation didn't feel very good yesterday. I feel like I could have held my front hand up a tiny bit longer. I was kind of trying, I received some technical advice from someone. They wanted me to keep my hand closer to my head. So I was kind of trying that. I don't really know if I was doing it well. My top arm gets a little bit high. I think my setup's fine. I'm letting my legs pop up a little bit early, I think.